Should I say ni hao? So today I'm going to piss off a different culture altogether. So long ago, my wife and I used to enjoy, actually the whole family, this place in Teaneck called the Taipei Noodle House. They're gone, but they had this lovely traditional Taiwanese menu, and on that menu was this fantastic dish. It was called the pork chop over rice, and they had a chicken leg over rice, and it was served with a side of rice. It was a fried pork chop or fried chicken leg, and it had this lovely meat sauce. Now, place is gone. I missed that meat sauce, and I went scouring the internet. I found a bunch of different recipes, and then I tweaked them, and now I have what I believe is as close to the one at that restaurant. Now, here's how I'm going to piss everybody off. Okay, it's Taiwanese, right? So something on this table doesn't belong, and it's this Kikkoman soy sauce. That's Japanese. Yeah, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I've used different soy sauces. The light soy, the dark soy sauce is okay, but the light soy sauce, this is the one that tastes most like that restaurant, and that's why I'm using it. Okay. So what do we have? We've got black pepper, we've got sugar, we've got a bay leaf, and it's supposed to be a star anise, but these are broken, so I'm going to put a couple of broken ones in there. And here's the other little gotcha. It uses Chinese 5-spice, right? And I have a couple of different brands here. And if you look at the ingredients on those, they're all different. And then the king of this whole recipe is this right here. These are fried shallots. Now, you could fry your shallots at home, but I have found that buying them like this is better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup of these shallots, grind them up in a mortar and pestle, and then use that powder to thicken later. And of course, what you don't see here is a pound of ground pork. And then you're supposed to use pork broth or water. I don't have the pork broth, so I'm going to use the water. And then later on, if necessary, I'll thicken it with a tiny bit of cornstarch. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. On a medium heat, and I've got my ground pork here. And what I want to do is just brown the pork. Okay, so this is step one. I'm going to just brown that pork. You see, I didn't put any oil in the pan or anything. There's enough fat in the pork. And again, all I want to do is get it so that it's grayed. I want a little juice in the pan. I want to preserve that meat juice. All right, so we're getting there. So with regard to the Chinese 5-spice, you see how I showed you there are two different brands there, and they both have different ingredients. So what do? Well, I take a half a teaspoon of each, a heaping half, instead of 1 teaspoon of one of them. And that kind of balances it out because, you know, they are radically different. I don't know how they get away with calling it by the same name when the composition of the spices is so different. But okay, so we are almost there. In go the dry spices, all of them. Oh wow, the sugar's sticking to the bottom there, huh? Oh, the steam does that. Okay, so there's the dry spices. Just going to stir them up. Okay. Oh wow, that smells great. Okay, and now 2 cups of water. You know, if you go to the store, you will find in the stock aisle, you know, where the soups are, they have beef broth, beef stock, chicken broth, chicken stock, vegetable broth, vegetable stock, but they don't have pork broth or pork stock. They, you know, Thanksgiving time, you'll see turkey stock. You'll never see pork stock. So you can make your own, or maybe, you know, and I've been to many different markets, like not just like Stop and Shop, ShopRite, even some of the Asian markets. You don't find the pork broth. It's interesting. Okay, so this is a half cup of the regular soy sauce, and you see how it's stained because there's a tablespoon of the dark soy sauce in there as well. Okay, and this is 3 tablespoons of the cooking wine, the Chinese cooking wine that you saw on the counter there. Okay, now once this comes to a boil, I'm going to put the lid on it and throw it on the back burner, and then we don't think about it again for 30 minutes. You got me? Okay, so what you see here is a cup of the fried shallots. Now, there's my mortar and pestle. Obviously, I can't do all of them at once in the mortar because, you know, you're just going to make a big mess. So I'm just going to take a little bit at a time, right? And just crush, 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 crush. And then after that sauce has simmered for about half an hour, I'm going to put these in and simmer it for another half an hour. You got me? Okay. Okay, so there it is, all ground up. And in a little while, we're going to add that to the meat sauce. Oh, it is fantastic. Add the ground up shallots. Okay, I'm just going to throw them in. Give it a stir. Put it back on the back burner. And that's going to cook for another half hour or so. Okay, so it's been about another half hour. And I will tell you, I'm going to use a teaspoon of cornstarch in that, and then it's going to be perfect. And then later on, we'll plate it with a nice fried pork chop. And there it is, pork chop over rice with that lovely, lovely Taiwanese meat sauce. Oh man, it is so good. Talk to you later.